Is time travel possible?
J407b. We can definitely travel into the future by moving faster relative to everybody else. And then you'll come back less aged than those you left here on Earth. The tricky part comes if you want to go into the past. And that's really dangerous. It is so dangerous that Hawking was thinking to himself that there must be some law of physics we have yet to discover that prevents it. Physically, it's called a time travel protection conjecture, all right? Where, because if you go back and prevent your parents from meeting each other, then you will never be born to go back in time to prevent your parents from meeting each other.
A location in the Western Sahara Desert of Mauritania called the Richat structure. It's also commonly referred to as the Eye of the Sahara. And what's so spectacular about this is that it just so happens to match what Plato had described as the lost ancient city of Atlantis. Plato had described Atlantis as made up of concentric circles, 3 of water, 2 of land, which matches the Richat structure. It also is said to have an opening to the sea at the south, and if you look at it from satellite imagery, you can clearly see that water had ran through it. And what people don't realize is that Sahara Africa, up until about 4,500 to 5,000 years ago, was totally green. It was tropical. It had one of the largest networks of rivers ever known to exist. Or it was said to have mountains to the north, and you just so happen to have mountains called the Atlas mountain chain, but it goes further than that. It turns out that the Sahara Desert is one of the least studied places on Earth.
There's so much that points to that possibly being Atlantis.
If you want to see, and there's no one who doesn't agree with this.
Just a few minutes ago, Artemis 1 launched from the Kennedy Space Center, which officially begins our journey towards colonizing the moon.
4-stage engine start. 3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
Do you understand how crazy this is? These are the literal first steps towards putting humans on the moon permanently. Over the next decade, there'll be humans just like you and me who are no longer on the Earth at all times for however long we exist. People who live thousands of years from now will look back on this decade as the years that we left Earth and begun living among the stars, and you were alive to see it with your own 2 eyes. We are actually doing it, and I can't believe that we're alive to see it.
How long humans...
Why are black holes so important? The stellar explosions which produce black hole also produce elements like nitrogen, carbon, and oxygen, of which us living creatures and Earth is made of. Also, when neutron stars and black holes collide, they produce heavy metals like gold and platinum. Interestingly, according to a research, central black hole of our galaxy might have played a vital role in the formation of life here on Earth. Well, we'll never know, but it's possible that black holes might be the only reason extraterrestrial life is even possible.
How do we know black holes exist if they absorb 100% of light? So there are 2 main reasons we can tell something is a black hole. First, they have gravity. So, if you can see a bunch of stars orbiting something you cannot see, you better know it's got to be a black hole. This animation you are watching is based on 30 years of data and research. By the way, it is the black hole in the center of our own galaxy. The second reason we can tell something is a black hole is that it can absorb light and cast shadows. The dark bit in the center isn't actually the black hole, that's its shadow. The radio waves that are shown as orange in this image are emitted by gas orbiting the black hole, and they're asymmetrical because of the black hole's rotation.
Let's take a look at the most terrifying and mind-blowing planet known to man. Scientifically named HD 189733b, with the well-earned nickname, the Nightmare Planet. This planet may look cute and cuddly, but it's far from it. The weather on this planet is extremely deadly. It rains molten glass at blistering speeds of 5,400 miles per hour, which is roughly 7 times the speed of sound. Sounds crazy, right? We aren't done yet. This planet is so close to its host star, it completes an entire orbit or year in just over 2 Earth days. This is the kind of thing you would find in your nightmares, hence the nickname. But the only difference is, this is real.
This new
J1407b. It's the first ringed world to be discovered beyond our solar system. It's located 434 light-years from Earth in the constellation of Centaurus. It consists of 37 rings, each of them tens of millions of kilometers in diameter. There are also gaps in the rings, which indicate that moons may have formed in between its rings. J1407b is much larger than Jupiter or Saturn, and its ring system is roughly 200 times larger than Saturn's rings are today. If Saturn had the same rings, we would be able to see it quite easily from Earth with the naked eye. We would even be able to see the gaps between its rings.
This is what entering in Jupiter's atmosphere would look like.
Control, it appears we've had a major malfunction.